Live Talk with Brett.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Live Talk with Benita Bradley. I am your host, Benita Bradley. Good afternoon. Well, good evening, Instagram. Thank you guys for joining me. Let's make sure I got everything going right here. Let's see. Instagram, I think I got you guys are clear. If you can hear me and see me okay, let me know so we can hear you and see you. Okay. Facebook and YouTube. I need you guys to do the same thing. As you know, we're just coming back from a long sabbatical. And first, because my mother passed away in May, and then I had to have a second brain surgery in October. So let me know if you guys can see me and hear me okay. So tonight I'm going to try to do the show without, oh my God. So tonight I'm going to try to do the show without the headset so that Instagram can hear the videos that I'm going to show tonight. Because I did get the videos loaded, okay? I got the videos loaded. So I'm really thankful for that. Hold on, guys, 1 second. Let me try to make sure I got everything going. So if everything is clear on Facebook and YouTube, you guys let me know in the comment section. I'm live in the comments with everybody. I'm live in the comments with everybody on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I can see all of you simultaneously. So I'm not sure how I'm coming through on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm not sure about that because I see something on my screen that is blocking me. The banner is in front of your face. Okay, so let me try to fix that. Okay, here we are. Hi, everybody. Good evening. And so, again, welcome to Live Talk with Benita Bradley. I'm your host, Benita Bradley, and it is my extreme pleasure to be with you again. As I said to you earlier, I've been on a little sabbatical, and I'm so glad to be back with you. You guys know, again, that I had my second brain surgery in October. And then 3 weeks after that, just something really weird and unexpected happened. I started hemorrhaging from my nose at first, just weird. Nobody could explain it, not even the doctors. And I was hemorrhaging so bad and so fast and so much. I was transported via ambulance to the closest hospital instead of the hospital of my choice because the MT worker said I would not have made it had they taken me to the further hospital, which was the actual hospital of my choice. So they had to make a decision based on what they saw was going on. And based upon what they saw was going on, they had to get me to the nearest hospital. And so that's what they did. And even still, once I got there, they still was not able to stop the hemorrhaging right away. So probably, I think I got there like on Sunday, like Saturday, late Saturday. So Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I was still hemorrhaging in the hospital because every time they would try to look inside my nose to see exactly where I was hemorrhaging from, I would just hemorrhage more, and to the point where, and this is documented, because a lot of times we don't even believe in miracles anymore. Just let me put that plug in there. We don't even believe in miracles anymore. So sometimes, we have to almost validate the fact that, God is still working miracles. Um, so, um, welcome, YouTube. I see you guys commenting. Welcome. Um, so what happened was, they were trying to look in and see what was going on, but I was hemorrhaging so fast and so much they couldn't. And so the third day, right at the third day or so, they decided to put some plugs in to try to stop it. So, and the plugs, you can only leave them in 24 to 48 hours. So they did that to slow it down. But by the second day, which would have been my 48 hours, I started hemorrhaging through the plugs that they put in. And so according to the doctors and according to documentation, my brain was not getting enough blood oxygen. My kidneys, good evening. My kidneys were shutting down. My heart was not getting enough blood oxygen to it. Every major organ that I had or have was not getting enough blood flow. So everything started shutting down. My body had turned cold. My body was cold to the touch. My skin had already started to get really clammy, and I had begun to literally have that out of body experience where I had this conversation with my daughter who had already passed on 3 years ago. You guys know about that. And she was telling me, like, to come on, mommy. She was like, I get to have you all to myself now, and it was just a weird experience for me. Because I felt like they had given me like this really strong anesthesia, because I felt like I was just in this deep sleep. And then I woke up and then I was floating up kind of like, and it was just a weird feeling. And the way the doctors and the nurses explained it to me was that I was kind of lingering between this life and the other life, so much so that when the doctor came in to touch me, that's when he realized that I was leaving. And he said I was too cold. And that's when they said, we better do another check on her blood pressure. And that's when they realized my blood pressure had dropped tremendously to like 72 over 51 or 52 or something like that. And so, and then that's when they started really paying attention to what was going on. And keep in mind, the entire time I'm still hemorrhaging. And so the second day, they gave me one transfusion. But as soon as they would give me transfusions, because they could not find the source of the hemorrhaging, I would hemorrhage again. And my numbers would just plummet again. And I would be so weak and lethargic. They wouldn't let me get up because they were afraid I was going to fall. They tried to make me use a bedpan, but I'm like, no, you guys need to bring the what is that thing called? The toilet that, you sit next to the bed, because I'm not using the bedpan, period. And I didn't. And so it was just a tremendous experience knowing. It's one thing when you know, because I knew I was dying. When I was at home, I knew it. And it was literally like death had jumped on me, and I was just fighting, and I was fighting, and I was fighting, and I was fighting. And by the time everything was over, one day I'm going to show you guys pictures. I had scars all over my body from them trying to save my life, and from me being in that level of spiritual warfare. If you've never really been in a spiritual warfare and all you have ever done was talked about it, but you've never actually been in a spiritual warfare, Honey, let me tell you something. There are physical ramifications that come behind being in a spiritual warfare. Okay. Just let me tell you that. I'll say that again. There are physical ramifications that will come behind being in a spiritual warfare. And I promise you, it literally, I could feel the force of death fighting me, just fighting me and fighting me. And even when the EMTs arrived, the main thing I told them, don't let me die like this in front of my children, because I felt life coming from me. I felt life. At first, it started coming out my nose, then my mouth. And then by the time I got to the hospital the second day, then blood started coming out my eyes. They had no idea where I was bleeding from. All they know, they couldn't stop it. And this was in November. This just happened in November of last year. As a matter of fact, I came home November 22nd. I came home November the 22nd, just a few days before Thanksgiving. And the only reason I was allowed to come home was because they were able to okay, let me back up. When he put the plugs in, he had to take the plugs out, because then I started hemorrhaging through the plugs. However, the only safe way for him to take the plugs out was in the operating room with me under anesthesia, with the entire team ready to do an emergency surgery. Else, I would bleed to death. So they came in. The cardiologist came in, because remember I told you my heart wasn't getting enough blood. Neurologist came in. The head of the neurology department came in, because now I'm not getting enough blood to my brain, because I'm hemorrhaging so much and so fast. I don't remember what day it is. One of the young men came in to draw blood, and he said, "Ms. Bradley, you've been with us for a while." I said, "No, I just got here." And he said, "When did you get here?" I said, "I just got here Sunday." He said, "Ms. Bradley, it's Thursday." And I was like, "It's Thursday? Why have I been here so long?" And he said, so he looked at the computer thing. He says, he said, "Your blood pressure was so low." He said, "That's probably why you can't remember anything right now." He said, "But it may come back to you." And so then he went and got the nurse. And then the nurses would come by and start explaining stuff to me of what happened. Because when the brain doesn't get enough blood oxygen flowing to it, I don't care. I pride myself on being pretty intelligent most days, but I don't care how intelligent a person is. Once there is not enough blood oxygen and blood flowing to that brain, I'm telling you, there's nothing. It's totally out of your hands. It's like totally out of your hands, and it's completely in the hands of God. I'm telling you, it's totally out of your hands. You can't think enough to say, "I'm gonna make my memory come back. I'm gonna make myself remember what's going on. I'm gonna make myself remember what day it is. I'm gonna make myself remember my phone number. I'm gonna make myself." You can't make yourself remember anything, because as hard as you're trying, the brain says, "Listen, I just don't have enough blood oxygen. I see what you're trying to do." The brain says, "I understand the command you're trying to give me, but I just don't have enough blood oxygen to do what you're trying to get me to do." Therefore, the brain says, "I just can't do that right now." And that's what was happening to me, even when I came home. And even now, sometimes I find myself, just searching for small words, because I went so long with them, just trying to find out, okay, where is this blood coming from? Are you hemorrhaging from the brain? Are you hemorrhaging from the incisions? From 3 weeks ago, when you had the brain surgery, they could not determine where I was hemorrhaging from, because every time, then they brought the ENT specialist in, and every time he tried to go in there with his little light and scope, just hemorrhaging, just really, really bad. I was filling up bags and bags and bags of towels. at the hospital. I used up just about all the towels they had stocked in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. I mean, it was just something to behold, even with my children watching. I know for a fact, not even in a movie, they've never seen one person spill so much blood so fast and at one time, until it was unstoppable. It was completely unstoppable. And by the time I did get to the hospital, I was completely pale, and just weak, but I still had enough fight in me to say, I'm just not going to go out like this. And that's what I kept saying, to the doctors, to the emergency physicians, don't let me bleed to death. And they kept saying, Miss Bradley, we're watching, we're doing everything we can. We just can't figure out where you're bleeding from. We don't know if you're bleeding from your brain. We don't know if you're bleeding from the incision areas. We don't know if a blood vessel has broken. We can't get a handle on it because we don't know, because every time we try to look, the blood flow won't stop. That was a scary part, because they couldn't figure out. And if they can't figure out where you're bleeding from, chances are they're not going to be able to stop it. And so that was my condition. They could not stop it because they could not find out or figure out, if you will, where exactly I was bleeding from. Their biggest fear, and mine, was that I was actually bleeding from the brain surgery that I had 3 weeks prior to the hemorrhaging situation. Okay, so that was the biggest concern, was I hemorrhaging from the brain? That's what we were thinking. However, when it started coming out of my mouth and then my eyes, that's what made them think this has got to be bleeding from the brain, because now it's coming out of one eye. And so it was just something to behold, and they could not stop it. And so on that Thursday, I think it was, is when the ENT doctor came in. He says, we got to take the plugs out because we can't keep these plugs in more than 48 hours. And that had been my second day with the plugs in. It gave me a little relief, but by the second day, I started hemorrhaging through the plugs. And like I said, the only way for them to remove those plugs safely was to take me into the operating room and when I got in there, they were sending everybody in there, guys. At one point, they moved me from the emergency room to a room. And I remember that room when it slowed down. And then every time I would try to go to sleep, it's like something would jump on me and just shake me, and blood would just start gushing out again. And it's coming out my nose. I'm throwing blood up. It's running out my eye. They can't, it was something to behold. They can't get a hold of it. Next thing I know, there's like 8 people surrounding me in my room. And so they was like, call for the green shirt people, so green shirt people comes in. I really don't know what's going on because I'm losing so much blood. I'm kind of in and out of consciousness, kind of in and out of figuring, why are y'all in my room? Like, what's going on? I'm kind of in and out, not really understanding the totality of what's going on, not physically understanding that, girl, you're still dying. They have not got this under control yet. And I remember just every day telling them, don't let me die like this. This is not the promise. I don't want to die fighting for my life. When I die, I want to die a peaceful death. I don't want to die struggling and fighting. I don't want to die like that. And that's what I kept telling them. I told my children that. I told the EMT workers that when they got to my home. I told them that in the ambulance. I told the doctors that in the emergency room. When they moved me to the first room, I told them, and then they moved me to what's called the intermediate ICU, where one nurse only has like 3 or 4 patients to care for, so that way they keep a better, closer eye on you. And because they had not gotten my hemorrhaging under control, that was the best place for them to put me. And so they had to do a COVID test first before they allowed me to go up on the floor. So they had to swab my mouth, my throat, because I was still hemorrhaging from my nose area. And so that came back okay. So after that came back, they decided to put me in the intermediate ICU, where I would have more of a private nurse kind of situation going on. And where she comes in more often than they would when you're on a regular floor, or kind of like regular ICU, if you will. And they would come in and explain to me what was going on, what steps they were taking, what the doctor had said, and what he meant, because I had a lot of questions. I had a lot of questions. And I don't know if any of you have ever been through that before, but when you're hemorrhaging like that and you're losing so much blood, like I said earlier, the brain cannot, I don't care who you are, what you do, how well you've taken care of your body, the brain cannot function properly. And that's what was happening. My kidneys had started to malfunction. So it's documented. It's renal dysfunction or something like that. It's what's on the papers. And I didn't leave the hospital until everything kind of came back within some degree of normality, except for my blood level. My blood level is not back to normal, but it was safe enough for me to come home. Okay. And so even now, I'm still on a very, very strong iron regimen. And I have to go every 3 months, which I have to go in the morning to my endocrinologist so they can do my blood work, check all my levels and all of that. I have to check in every 3 months to make sure that my blood levels are not dropping again, because I did hemorrhage so much and lose so much blood. So that brings us up to where I want to share with you guys tonight. So I go through all of that. However, when they went in to get the tumor the second time, they were not able to get all of it. I showed you a demonstration. Where's my little thing I use? Here it is. So I showed you guys a little demonstration, and I used this. It's a little stress ball that I keep on my desk. And I use this to demonstrate how the surgery looks and what going to go next. And so I'm not using my headphones tonight. So hopefully when I play the videos, hopefully Instagram, you can hear the videos as well. So if everybody's able to hear and see well, y'all please let me know before I start videos. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys 2 videos tonight. And one of them is going to be one part of the procedure, and the other video is going to be another part of the procedure. So what happened was, the first surgery I had was in December 2016. So at that point, they were able to get 75% of the tumor out. However, now the tumor isn't this big. I'm just going to use this so you guys can see it. Okay. So they were able to get 75% of it out. Okay. However, the rest that's still there, and let's say that this is my, let's say, eye socket, optical area, and all of these nerves are here, that controls everything else. My hormonal system, my endocrine system, all of that is right here. All of that is right there. Okay. And so let's just say the tumor is like sitting here. So what happens is when he went in to get it the first time, he could only get 75% of it, because you see how close that is to all my other major nerves. He could not go in there and like scrape with the tools, because it's sitting right here. It's sitting right there. And there was not enough room for him to go in safely and do that. Okay, so what happened was we watched it. So we did consider the first surgery a success. So then we watched it and we watched it. And then 5 years later, which was October of last year, we saw that it had grown back again, but this time the part that was left kind of wanted to go this way a little bit. So now it's getting closer to all these other nerves over here, if you guys are understanding what I'm saying. So now it's getting closer. So this time he goes in and he gets as much as he can out. But here's the problem this time. This time we only have about that much room left, about that much space in between where that tumor is sitting and the rest of my nerves. Okay. We don't have enough room for him to go in there manually and get it. We just don't. It's just too dangerous. And so the part that I'm thankful for is that it is benign, and it has been benign since they found it in 2012. So this has not been like an overnight process for me. That's why I call it the journey. It has indeed been a journey for me. And one that I don't mind sharing, because you just never know who I might help, and and it helps me to talk about it. It's therapeutic. And so now that we've done the second surgery, there's still a piece left in there, kind of teetering over all of those other nerves right there. So the only way to get to that is what's called a Gamma knife radiation surgery. So when you first hear about that, like I did, when I first heard about it, I'm like, listen, I just don't want to have no more surgeries. I don't want to be cut on. I can't. And so my neurosurgeon explained to me that although it says Gamma knife surgery, radiation surgery, it's not actually a cutting, and I had my consultation Monday. I think I had my consultation this Monday. And he explained that, gamma means rays and knife means the precision, the sharp precision of the rays. And I have 2 videos that I want to show you guys so you can get a better understanding of what's going to happen when I go through this process. Now, I don't, it's not a process I want to go through. Let me just share that with you guys. It's not something I absolutely want to do. It's something I have to do to keep this tumor from growing back a third time. So if it grows back a third time, that's going to mean a third surgery. This second surgery was difficult. The first one I recovered, was bouncing around in 2 weeks, but this time it was just not the same. I'm older, my body is older, all of that good stuff. But I will say this. It does matter how you take care of your body, because when the body goes through this kind of traumatic experience of someone in there poking around in your brain, and then you're hemorrhaging, that's a traumatic experience for the body itself to go through. And then for me to actually see all of this happening, that's a traumatic experience for the individual as well. So this is not something I want to do. The radiation is something I have to do because I definitely don't want to go through a third surgery. And so I asked the question, so what if I elected not to do the radiation? And then the answer was what I thought it would be. Then there is a great possibility this tumor would return again a third time, causing me to have a third surgery. Although this is a slow growing tumor, it is a growing tumor. And although it is benign, it causes so much havoc in your life. It can disrupt your sight. It can disrupt your entire just your endocrine system is totally screwed up. Everything in your body is off, just totally off. And so having to go through radiation is not something I'm looking forward to. So just let me say that. So the first video I'm going to show you guys, it's 2 ways you can have what this Gamma Knife radiation surgery. One is with the mask, and then one is with like a iron helmet kind of deal. And I think I'm going to have the one with the headgear because that's the one the radiation surgery talked to me about on Monday. Okay. But I want to show you both so you can see how they look. So I'm going to show you the one with the mask first. And then I'm going to show you the one I'm actually going to have. So we're waiting for him to schedule that. He did say he wants to schedule that as soon as possible between this month and next month. Because again, this is a type of tumor, although slow growing, it does grow and it does affect the sight. Okay. So that's what we're kind of up against. We're up against the clock to make sure this thing doesn't start growing because of the direction. Now it's growing, it's putting more pressure on my sight and my optical nerves. And not only that, there is a second type of brain tumor that I deal with, which means pressure on the brain. That one is called a pseudotumor cerebri. So it's not a tumor, it's pressure on the brain that appears as a tumor. And that comes from your spinal fluid and all of that kind of stuff mixed in there, and it has pressure. I'll talk to you about that another time. And so we're kind of up against the clock to just really save my sight, if you will, because I did go through a period of maybe 2 or 3 years where I had no sight. And thank God for the surgeon that I have and all the specialists that I do see. You know, I'm absolutely thankful for them. So let's see. Let's go to our comments. Good evening, Kimberly, Elder Kim. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Gregory. I see your comment, but for some reason I can't put you on the screen, but I do see your comment. Thank you, Gregory. I know you understand being healed from cancer. You understand the journey. It's not a overnight thing. It's a journey indeed. And every day you have to develop this faith. Every day you have to have faith, like you have to have faith like you would say, okay, my life literally depends on me believing in God. You know, when the doctors have done all they can do, and so now they're trying to figure out um, what to do. You know, science can only go so far. I talked about this on Tuesday. I talked about marrying science and faith, and how thankful I am that we are, as Christians, finally to a place where we can accept that. Some of us are, and then some of us are not. We still have a problem with it, you know, but we'll save that one for another discussion as well, because I don't understand why we have such a degree of problem with science and faith being married together when we need both of them to understand. You know, you need faith to realize that, okay, God created this earth, He created heaven and the earth. You need faith for all of that. You need faith to have something to believe in, and then the science comes in, and then it explains how this happens. And so we need both of them in order to live. And I'm just thankful that I have both in my life. Thus, I am able to live. And so, thank you, Gregory. Thank you. I love you too. I love you too. And I'm praying for you as well. I don't know why your comments are. Let me see where you are. Gregory, where are you watching from? Tell me where you're watching from, Gregory, so I can get some of your comments on the screen. Hey, Corey. Okay, hold on. Let me. Oh, hey, Pooh. Okay, I see a lot of you guys commenting, but it's not showing up on the screen for some reason. But I see it in the comment section. Okay. Okay, it's not letting me put your comments on the screen for some reason. Let's see. Oh, you guys are watching from YouTube. Okay. And you guys are watching on Facebook. So it's Elder Kim, you must be watching from YouTube. I think you are. Yeah, Elder Kim, you must be watching on your TV. You can watch us live on your big screen TV. I'm going to turn this around just a little bit. So, Instagram, can you see that? So, you guys can watch on the big screen TV if you have smart TV, if you have Roku, and if you have Fire Stick. Okay, if you have a smart TV, Roku, or Fire Stick, you can watch me live on the big screen on your television. Just go to my channel on YouTube, go to Live Talk with Benita Bradley, click on subscribe, click the notification bell. Anytime I'm live or upload a new video or something, you'll get notified, and then you can watch from your big screen TV. Okay. And I think that's what Elder Kim is doing, because her comments are coming from YouTube, and the rest of you guys your comments are coming from Facebook. Okay, Greg, I see you guys. Thank you. Okay. So when you comment from Facebook, you have to give me StreamYard permission to use your comments. Okay. So that's what's probably going on. All right. So let me go to the videos. Let's go to the videos. Now, you guys can ask me questions if you want to. I'll try to answer the best that I can. But if it's something too hard for me to answer, I'll tell you, I'll get back with you. Okay. But from a personal perspective, you can ask me anything on that level, from anything I've gone through, anything I've experienced. But if it gets too scientifical and I can't answer it, then I'll tell you, I'll get back with you. I do a lot of research on the brain and brain tumors and things of that nature. And then plus I am a psychology major, which was kind of ironic in the beginning, because I was just like, okay, how am I going to finish school now that I have to deal with all of this. And funny thing, I have been doing exceptionally well in school. Surprise myself sometimes. So, okay, guys, let's find the video. All right, guys, you ready? Let me make sure Instagram can see. All right, you should be able to see from right there.
Know what to expect when having Gamma Knife radiosurgery with a plastic mask. In this video, you will learn about Gamma Knife radiosurgery. This includes what Gamma Knife radiosurgery is, what happens the day of your treatment, what happens after treatment. What is Gamma Knife radiosurgery? Gamma Knife radiosurgery is a type of radiation treatment that is used to treat brain metastases. Gamma Knife radiotherapy is like getting an X-ray. It is a painless treatment. There is no cutting or burning. This treatment uses high-energy X-rays to destroy cancer cells. Gamma Knife radiosurgery only targets the tumor. This reduces the risk of causing damage to healthy brain tissue. Some Gamma Knife radiotherapy treatments use a frame and others use a plastic mask. Your doctor will tell you if you will have a frame or frameless treatment. This video is for patients having treatment with the mask. What happens the day of your treatment? There are a few things to remember the day of your treatment. Wear comfortable clothing. Do not wear any makeup or earrings. This may affect the fit of the frame or mask. A family member or friend should bring you to the hospital. They must drive you home after your treatment. This is because you may need medicines during your treatment that could make you drowsy. Gamma Knife radiosurgery steps. Your treatment will have 4 main parts. 1. Preparing the treatment mask. 2. Planning MRI and CT scans. 3. Treatment planning and 4. Treatment. Preparing the treatment mask. A custom plastic mask will be made that fits over your head. This mask will hold your head in place during your treatment. The mask may be made before or after you're planning MRI or CT scans. Planning MRI and CT scans. As part of the treatment planning process, you will have CT and MRI scans, even if you have had these scans done before. These scans take pictures of your brain and skull. Your doctor needs these pictures to help with the final planning of your treatment. Treatment planning. Your radiation oncologist and the physics team will use the pictures from your MRI and CT scan to plan your treatment. Your healthcare team will decide which area of your brain to treat and how much radiation to give you. Treatment. Your treatment will take place once a day for 3 days. Your treatment may take 1 to 3 hours to complete each day. This depends on the size of your tumor or tumors, the area of your brain to be treated, and the number of tumors you have. Your therapist will tell you how long your treatment will take. In the room, you will lie flat on your back on the treatment table. The mask will be attached to the Gamma Knife machine. The table will move to place you in the correct position. Gamma Knife radiotherapy is like getting an X-ray. It is a painless treatment. There is no cutting or burning. You may feel some discomfort from lying down for a long period of time. Your radiation therapists will watch you on camera at all times during your treatment. They will also listen to you through a microphone in the treatment room. During your treatment, you may listen to music, relax, or even sleep. Once your treatment is complete, the mask will be removed and you may go home. What happens after treatment? The BrainMeds Clinic is made up of different healthcare professionals who work together as a team. This includes radiation oncologists, neurosurgeons, nurses, and trainees such as fellows or residents. You may speak with different healthcare professionals each time you visit the clinic. Each of the healthcare professionals will know about your medical history. You'll be able to return to your normal routines after treatment. You will have a follow-up appointment with your doctor and another MRI scan about 3 months after your treatment. You may have side effects after treatment. These may occur after weeks or months. If you have any side effects you think may be related to your treatment, talk to your healthcare team. In this video, you learned about Gamma Knife radiosurgery. This included what Gamma Knife radiosurgery is, what happens the day of your treatment, what happens after treatment.
All right, guys. So I hope you were able to get a little bit more information from that. So that's the one with the plastic mask. Okay, so the other video that I'm going to show you is the actual procedure that I'm having. Okay, it's the actual procedure that I'm having, and the procedure that I'm having. So in that video, they said it was 3 days. My procedure is um, one and done. You know, it's a one and done procedure. I'll go in that morning. They're going to show you the steps I'm going to go through. I do have to have someone to drive me there and home because they are going to sedate me. And then it's one day of radiation treatment, and then I come home that same day, and I recover at home. So, and then prayerfully, I won't need another one. But so far, what we're seeing is that I only need that one and done treatment. The way the surgeon explained it, it's like 200 rays of radiation coming in. And you go back to this. And again, the tumor isn't this big, but I want to use this because it's big enough for you guys to see. So what happens is, let me get a pen. So the 200 rays, they come together and make one line that goes directly to the area of the brain where the tumor is. And so that all this other area around where the tumor is not, there is no real danger of all this healthy area being overexposed to radiation. Okay, does that make sense? So it's 200 rays and it's coming straight in. All the 200 rays, they come into a center, make one ray going straight into where the tumor is. And it's so precise. That's why it's called the knife. And gamma, of course, the rays, gamma knife, radiation surgery. So it goes right into the one area. And then what happens, as you'll see in the video, if, say, like these three, let's use these three right here. These three is the, well, let's go out a little bit. This circle right here is the tumor. Okay, let's use this circle right here. So what happens is the machine, if it starts right here, the machine will move my head and my body this way, that way, this way, that way, this way, that way, and to the center. So there's no chance that the rays will ever be, around this way, around all the healthy tissues and stuff like that. Okay. So, and they're going to explain it a little bit better than I can explain it in the video that I'm going to show you guys. I hope this information is helpful to you guys and it lets you know a little bit more about my journey as I go through it. And again, this has not been an overnight journey for me. I actually was first diagnosed with brain tumors in 2012. So, this has been an absolute journey for me. But I'm thankful that God has been gracious enough, even through strokes and all of that, he has been gracious enough to allow me, I know people use it as a cliche and to sound like super spiritual or whatever, but I can really say I don't look like what I've been through, nor what I'm going through. And I can only attribute that to the grace of God. And so, because I myself, me, Benita, I'm not that good, I don't do things perfect. I don't try to be, there's nothing in my mind that tells me when you wake up in the morning, try to be perfect. No, I used to be that way. I used to try to be perfectly saved, perfectly filled with the Holy Ghost, perfect wife, perfect mother, perfect everything. And then I would find myself just really bombarded in my mind and just overtaken in my mind with the thought of being perfect, when God did not call me to be perfect, and so I dropped all of that. I just stopped trying, and so now I'm so thankful that his grace and his love and his mercy towards me gets renewed every day, because every day I need it. I need him. I need something from him. Every morning I wake up, I lie in my bed, and I wake up, the first thing, and when I open my eyes, I look around my room, because remember, I went for 2 or 3 years being blind, couldn't drive, couldn't live by myself. It's a lot of stuff. I lost a lot of my independence. Well, I was supposed to turn in my driver's license, but I didn't. I just wouldn't drive, and so I lost my independence for a long time. And so when I wake up in the morning, if I'm lying in bed, first thing I do when I open my eyes, if I can see out of both eyes, I literally will open one eye at a time. This is just me. And when I realize I can see out of both eyes, I kind of chuckle a little bit. And I said, okay, God, thank you. Thank you. I kind of just chuckle just a little bit, because at the thought of, me just, can I see today? When I know the hand of the Lord is upon me, and so that's kind of me and God's thing we do in the morning. Then I tell him thank you, and then I'll start moving around or whatever. And every step I take, everything I do, I tell him thank you that I'm able to now drive myself. The only fallback I have is I do fight fatigue. I get fatigued really easy. Not tired. Not tired. I try to tell people it's a difference from being tired and fighting fatigue. Tired, you just be like, oh, I'm tired. Let me just rest for a minute. And then I'm get back up. Fatigue says, oh, we ain't doing that. No, we're not getting up. No, when you lay down, you're not going to get up right now. You might get up tomorrow. You might get up a few hours, but not right now. You're not. Your body is like in two different spaces. Your body and your mind, they're at war, because you're trying to tell your body to do something, and your body trying to tell you, no, we're not doing that right now. And no matter what you do, no matter what I do, sometimes I'm just like pouring B12 drops on my tongue, up under my tongue, and I just kind of wait there, just trying to, get myself some, get up and go or what have you. Child, please. Only thing that B12 doing is tasting good because it's flavored, But other than that, that's the difference between being tired and fighting fatigue. But of course, you don't go through that amount of hemorrhaging and come out unscathed. I just thank God that, like I said, I don't look like what I've been through, nor do I look like what I'm going through. Most days, some days I do. In my eyes, I do. So I'm going to play this next video. This next video is the actual process that I'll be going through. Either this month or early next month, because remember I said that the radiation surgeon wants to get on top of this as soon as he can get me on, he called it his whiteboard, which is his surgery schedule. So as soon as he can get me on his whiteboard, this is what he told me Monday. So I already had my consultation Monday. So now the radiation surgeon is going to consult back with my neurosurgeon, and they're going to pick a time and date, because my neurosurgeon absolutely wants to be there. He's a very hands-on kind of neurosurgeon. And so even he's just hands-on like that. And I'm thankful. And so, so although I do have 2 types of brain tumors that I'm dealing with, we always have to deal with them separately. We can never just bombard my brain and deal with both of them at the same time. That's the only thing I kind of don't like. And that's the thing that kind of frustrates me. And I got frustrated today when my neurosurgeon's nurse called me, and we were talking, and then I realized in my voice I was getting agitated. Not at her, but I was getting agitated at the process that I'm having to go through, because it's been such a long process. But then I have to think back too, in 1997, I think it was, when my eldest daughter, who passed away, and my eldest grandbaby and we were at the movies on a Sunday evening, 6:00. Matter of fact, I'll never forget it. When I got a call from the neurologist, and that's when he said to me that I had cancer in the brain, and that I only had so long to live, which was not long at all. So I said, well, what are you saying? I said, am I dying? He says, yes. So I said, well, how much time do I have? He says, we don't know. So I said, well, why would you call me on the Sunday? He said, well, I went by my office, and there's a note on your file on my desk with an emergency note to call you right away. So I'm like, okay. So I just break down. I start screaming. I go home, and I go in my closet. I tell my brother, I call my brother. I tell him I'm dying, and I tell him why. And so I'm like, well, if you guys are saying I have cancer in the brain, where did it come from? So the report says that it metastasized from somewhere to the brain. So my question was, then where did it come from? I'm pretty healthy. I go have my regular checkup. No one ever said I had cancer anywhere in my body. So where did it come from? Where did it metastasize from? If it's in my brain, where did it come from? And no one could tell me that. So then they put me through this, oh my God, horrendous amount of testing. When I tell you, thank you, Pastor Carol. Thank you, sister. When I tell you guys, they tested every part of my body. I was mentally exhausted. 2 days in the hospital, back and forth, testing, pulling, turning, flipping. Oh my God, it was so exhausting emotionally and mentally. It was like, why am I doing all this? You already told me I'm dying, so why we got to do this? And I was so frustrated. And the whole time I'm crying. I'm calling my brother. I put together my medical file. I photocopied everything, sent the copy to my brother. I'm like, look after my children. This is what's happening. And my brother was like, listen, I can't understand you. You're screaming. You're crying. This is not how we handle things. You got to stop screaming. You got to stop crying. I need you to settle down, go in your prayer closet, and I need you to pray, because this is not how we're going to get through this. He said, I can't understand a word you're saying. And so we finished talking, and I did exactly what he said. I went in my closet and I just screamed, and I screamed, and I talked to God, and I screamed, and I screamed, and I talked to God. I cried and I screamed and I talked to God. A lot of times we as believers, we don't want to tell the agonizing truth of how we react to certain information or certain news or certain diagnosis when we have when doctors say, you're dying. I just knew God was going to bring. No, I did not. No, I did not know God was going to bring me through. I know what that man was telling me on the phone, that I was dying. That's what I knew, and sometimes, because I'm not that super spiritual all the time, I'm not spooky to, God had already showed me. No, God didn't. No, he didn't. God did not show me that. I had no idea that was happening. I was skip to the loo, my darling. We was at the movies on a Sunday evening. You know, I wasn't thinking about no doctor. Hopefully no doctor wasn't thinking about me. I just knew I was having these headaches and nosebleeds all the time. I wasn't thinking about none of that, Pastor Carol. I was just thinking about how cute I was coming out of divorce after being married to a pastor for 20 years. I was just thanking God that I made it out and I was still cute. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing to me. I wasn't thinking about, oh, God gonna show. No, I wasn't thinking about that. So when the man told me I was dying, yes, I fell apart. I literally fell apart. I fell apart. I forgot how to pray. I forgot what to say to God. You know, it's like all I could do was go in my closet and scream, and remind God that he and I had a relationship and that I had served him since I was 14 years old. That's all I could tell him. This is me. You gonna let me go out like that? This is how I was talking to God. I'm like, God, this is me. You gonna let me go out like that? You gonna let brain cancer kill me? And you know how people are. I was talking to God just like that. I was screaming, I was crying, and I was like, what was the purpose of me giving my life over to you at 14? What was the purpose of me being faithful? I was screaming. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like my son say, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I wasn't in there. I wasn't speaking in tongues because I was angry. I was angry and I needed God to answer me even in my anger because I could not understand why I was going to die so fast. Why? Guys, look. This is in 1996, 97, somewhere up in there. I know it had to be 97 because it was right after I got divorced. And I got divorced in 1996, which was ended a 20-year marriage. We both were pastors, both in the church. And we went through this horrible divorce. So now I'm divorced, which means I'm single and I'm finna die. Oh, okay. So God, so that's what you, okay. So this is my reward. This is how I felt. I was angry with God. And when I was in that closet, that's the first thing I told him. I said, God, I don't even know what to say to you. And I know this might be a little too real for some of y'all. And, oh, you shouldn't tell people you was angry with God. Child, I'm so free. I'm so free. I am so free. I was angry and I told God, I'm angry. I don't understand how you work. How you take somebody that's been faithful to you. I've said no to things I really wanted to say yes to. But I couldn't say yes because I loved you more than I loved things. And I loved you more than I loved my flesh. I had to have that conversation with God. And here I am. Guys, they tested me from my hair to my toenails, literally. This is no joke. All this is documented. And besides, my children were there. Some of the church people were there, you know. Absolutely, Pastor Carol. Absolutely. That's what that's how I stay free, because I tell the truth and I be transparent. And like I said on Tuesday, I'll tell you anything about Benita except for about my personal love life. That's between me and my king. That's not your business, you know. So there's nothing that will go on between he and I that's going to help you unless you're in a situation that he and I have been through, or that he and I can absolutely help you with. And then I'm going to talk to you one-on-one if you're a woman, and then he will talk to you one-on-one if you're a man, and then we will talk to you together if y'all are a couple. That's how that's going to go when the timing is. So amen. All right. So I've always been about being transparent, and that has kept me free. And so every time I would get another headache, I would say, oh my God, is this what they were talking about? That thing just plagued me and plagued me. So they tested me. And then finally, I go get ready to start treatment. And keep in mind, I'm like, I don't even know why I'm going to treatment. You already said I don't have much long. I don't have long. He said, well, this will at least give you more time with your children, a little bit more time, with your first granddaughter, And I was like, okay. So I go to the oncologist to start treatment. So he then turns around and sends me for more testing. All right. So now he has to report from my neurologist, but now he wants more testing done. So I go through more testing. So now the day I go to actually start treatment, the nurse comes out to meet me. When I see her coming out to meet me, immediately my heart drops. My heart just drops because I already knew, okay, they got the test back. They called me in. I already know this not going to be well with. It's just not going to end well. And as soon as I saw her, I just broke down crying. She says, oh, no, don't cry. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. And she was like, come on in the back. So I get in the back and the doctor is already standing there waiting on me. And I'm just like, well, I know this is it. I knew it was it. I knew the test had come back and I knew he was going to confirm what the neurologist said. And I'm just going to listen to how long he told me I got to live. This is in 1997. So he comes to me. We're sitting down. He says, well, I have the test from your neurologist from the hospital. He said, and then that's why I wanted to do my own set of tests. He said, because something just isn't looking right. So I'm like, oh, God, please. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, if this is it, this is it, And so he begins to tell me, he says, well, we don't know. We don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. He said, but whatever was there is no longer there. So then I was like, wait a minute. I said, so I'm not dying? He said, no, you're not. I said, so y'all made a mistake. He said, no, there was no mistake made. I said, so my neurologist made a mistake. He said, no, I read the reports. I read the radiology reports. He said, what they said was there. He said, but what I'm trying to tell you, we don't know what happened. Whatever was there is no longer there. And you're not dying anymore. So I still didn't grasp what was going on. I still couldn't understand what I said. So who made the mistake? Who gave me the wrong information that I was dying? He said, no one gave you the wrong information. He said, the test said what the test said. He said, what I'm telling you is that we don't understand how it is. We all saw what was there. And he said, but now it's no longer there. It's gone. And he said, you don't even need to have treatment. I said, so I don't have cancer anywhere in my body? He said, no. He said, we tested you over and over and over again. He said, we could not find cancer anywhere in your body. He said, so whatever was there is no longer there. And he said, you're going to live. So I'm thinking, I still couldn't get it. It was just too much for me to handle. So then I'm thinking, okay, but I still got to come up because I didn't have insurance at that time. So I'm thinking, okay, and I got to come up with money to pay this man because I've been here several times. And so We go out. After he finished talking to me, I'm still kind of in a daze when I leave because I'm like, somebody gave me the wrong information. But the doctor is telling me, no, nobody gave me the wrong information. What we saw is what we saw. And so he goes out. He says, well, I need to print your super bill. And I'm like, super bill? You know, super bill is just like what it sounds like. It's a super bill. And so we get to check the checkout stand where you check out at. And the oncologist comes around and he's standing there behind the girl checking me out. He's just standing there looking at me. Just looking at me. He's not saying anything. He's just still standing there looking at me. And so finally, he taps the girl that was checking me out on the shoulder. He said, put in a code for no call, no show. She says, but Dr. Salma, she's right here. She's not a no call, no show. He said, put her down for no call, no show, and wipe out the bill. She was like, why would you do that when she was a Caucasian girl. Everybody in there is Caucasian. And he's still just standing there just looking at me. And he says, would you please do like I asked you to do? Put her down as if she never came in. Therefore, if she was not here, she could not have ever generated a bill. I just start crying. And he said, zero balance her out. That girl was so upset. She was just punching keys. And the whole while, the doctor just standing there looking at me. Just looking at me. And that's when I understood how the hand of God works miracles. And we don't have anything to do with it. We can't be good enough. We can't be too bad. It has nothing to do with us. God works miracles at his own will. And that was the first time I had experienced that. So here I am. It's 2022 now. And you guys are watching me live, which means I'm still here. And I'm so thankful to God for this entire journey that I've been on. You know, at first I was ashamed to talk about it because I thought, you know, I don't know a lot of Black people that have brain tumors, you know, especially the two different types of brain tumors that I have, you know, and, you know, along with that, brain tumors, you have to deal with depression and sometimes mood swings, and, you know, you have to deal with feeling lethargic sometimes. And there are times you want to go places, you make plans to go, and then at the last minute, you're just too tired to go. You know, you lose friends because friends think, oh, you just don't want to come, or, oh, you being funny. Oh, I showed up for you, but now you don't want to show up for me. And it's not that, you know, I was just afraid to tell people this is what's going on with me, you know. And so now that I'm at this part of the journey, you know, I don't have that fear anymore. I don't have that concern, because if you love me indeed. If you're going to ride with me indeed, you know. And then you'll understand that there are times when I want to fellowship, I want to be with people, but I just can't. I can't. And so we're up to this point now where we've done all the surgeries, hand surgeries that we can do to get in there and get this tumor out. But now we can't go back in with hands anymore. You know, it's different. You know, I use this scenario. They're not fixing a broke finger, you know, or a dislocated shoulder. You're talking about somebody in there in your brain, you know. And so each time I go through a brain surgery, you know, the brain has to, you know, it's just like anything else you get surgery on. It swells. The swelling has to go down. It has to heal. All of that stuff. The brain is the same way. You know, you get somebody poking around in there, the swelling has to come down, and all of that. So we're at this point now. So now I'm going to show you the video of the next step. Okay. And this is called Gamma knife radiation surgery. This one is with the headgear. Remember the first one was plastic mask? This one is actually what I'll be using. This is what will actually happen to me. All right, you guys ready? All right, and again, you can ask me questions if you like. Here we go. Let's see. I think it's the right one.
Know what to expect when having gamma knife radiosurgery. In this video, you will learn about gamma knife radiosurgery. This includes what gamma knife radiosurgery is, how to prepare for your treatment, what happens the day of your treatment, what happens after treatment. What is gamma knife radiosurgery? Gamma knife radiosurgery is a type of radiation treatment that is used to treat brain metastases. Gamma knife radiotherapy is like getting an X-ray. It is a painless treatment. There is no cutting or burning. This treatment uses high-energy X-rays to destroy cancer cells. Gamma knife radiosurgery only targets the tumor. This reduces the risk of causing damage to healthy brain tissue. Some gamma knife radiotherapy treatments use a frame and others use a plastic mask. Your doctor will tell you if you will have a frame or frameless treatment. This video is for patients having treatment with the frame. Prepare for your treatment. Planning MRI. Before your treatment, you will have a planning MRI. This may happen on the same day that you are seen in the brain mets clinic or afterwards. After your MRI, your radiation oncologist and the physics team will use these pictures to begin planning your treatment. What happens the day of your treatment? There are a few things to remember the day of your treatment. Eat a light meal in the morning. Take your regular morning medicine. If you take medicine for diabetes, eat before you come to the hospital. If you take your diabetes medicine on an empty stomach, your blood sugar may become very low. Wear comfortable clothing as you may be at the hospital all day. Do not wear any makeup or earrings. This may affect the fit of the frame or mask. A family member or friend should bring you to the hospital. They must drive you home after your treatment. This is because you may need medicines during your treatment that could make you drowsy. It is hard to predict how things will go the day of your treatment. It is best to plan to be at the hospital all day. Since you may be at the hospital all day, bring any medicine you need to take during the day. Keep your medicine in the original bottle. You should also bring a list of all medicine you take. Bring something to eat or drink. Bring something to keep you busy. For example, a book, DVDs, an iPod, MP3 player, or CD to listen to. Gamma knife radiosurgery steps. Your treatment will have 4 main parts. 1. Preparing the head frame. 2. CT scan. 3. Treatment planning. And 4. Treatment. Preparing the head frame. The morning of your treatment, your neurosurgeon will attach a frame to your head. The frame is placed using posts and pins that will be adjusted to make sure the frame fits you. You will be given a local anesthetic where the pins are placed. The anesthetic will numb the area where the frame is placed so you don't feel any pain. You may feel some discomfort and pressure when the frame is on your head. The frame will stay on your head until you have finished treatment. This is to keep you in a stable position during imaging and treatment. You will be able to eat when the frame is on your head. You will not be able to wear your glasses. CT scan. Before your treatment, you will have a CT scan. A CT scan takes pictures of your brain and skull. Your doctor needs these pictures to help with the final planning of your treatment. The frame will stay on your head during the CT scan. After your CT scan, you will return to the radiation nursing clinic to wait while your treatment is planned. Treatment planning. Your doctor will use the pictures from your MRI and CT scan to plan your treatment. Your healthcare team will decide which area of your brain to treat and how much radiation to give you. The day of your radiosurgery, there may be other patients also having the same treatment. While you are waiting, you can eat, drink, rest, read a book, or use the washroom. Treatment. You will be taken to the treatment room once planning is complete. Your treatment may take 1 to 3 hours to complete. This depends on the size of your tumor or tumors, the area of your brain to be treated, and the number of tumors you have. Your therapist will tell you how long your treatment will take. In the room, you will lie flat on your back on the treatment table. The head frame will be attached to the Gamma Knife machine. The table will move to place you in the correct position. Gamma Knife radiotherapy is like getting an X-ray. It is a painless treatment. There is no cutting or burning. You may feel some discomfort from lying down for a long period of time. Your radiation therapists will watch you on a camera at all times during your treatment. They will also listen to you through a microphone in the treatment room. During your treatment, you may listen to music, relax, or even sleep. Once your treatment is complete, the frame will be removed. You may have some mild bleeding in the areas where pins were placed. Bandages will be put on these areas. Keep these areas dry for the next 24 hours. This will help prevent infection and allow your skin to heal. Your team will keep an eye on you for 1 hour after your treatment. This is to make sure you do not have a headache when the frame is removed. After an hour, you may go home. What happens after treatment? You'll be able to return to your normal routines after treatment. You may have a mild headache or some swelling where the frame was attached. Take acetaminophen or ibuprofen if you have a headache. The BrainMets Clinic is made up of different healthcare professionals who work together as a team. This includes radiation oncologists, neurosurgeons, nurses, and trainees such as fellows or residents. You may speak with different healthcare professionals each time you visit the clinic. Each of the healthcare professionals will know about your medical history. You will have a follow-up appointment with your doctor and another MRI scan about 3 months after your treatment. You may have side effects after treatment. These may occur after weeks or months. If you have any side effects you think may be related to your treatment, talk to your healthcare team. In this video, you learned about Gamma Knife radiosurgery. This included what Gamma Knife radiosurgery is, how to prepare for treatment, what happens the day of your treatment, what happens after treatment.
All right, guys, so that's the one I'll be having, the one with the frame. The part I'm not excited about is the part where they attach the frame to the head. From what I understand and what I've read, like once they take the frame off, pardon me, that does leave you with a headache or like a migraine, some swelling of the brain area, basically like a migraine, because that's what like a migraine does, like an area of the brain kind of swells with the blood pocket, and it causes that pressure to be right there. That's what a migraine feels like. And so that's the part I'm especially not looking forward to. And no makeup, I'm at least gonna have to wear some lipstick or something, So, but that's the procedure I'll be having. Like I said, I had the consultation on Monday, so now I'm just waiting on the call for them to give me the date that I'll have the actual procedure. And like before, I'll make sure you guys have updates. My daughter does exceptionally well with giving you guys updates and everything. And I'm thankful for her being here with me. I was hoping my eldest grandbaby would be here as well. So I'm praying about that. I hope she comes. And so if you guys have any questions, you can always inbox me and I'll do the best I can to answer your questions. And if I don't know, I'll just tell you I don't know. I do a lot of research, but a lot of it is still, a lot of stuff is beyond my pay grade. So, and I tried my best to stay in my lane. However, when it comes to my health, I will ask a million questions, so, um, and if I can help someone else is going through dealing with brain tumors or any kind of neurological disorders or diseases or anything dealing with the brain, and you need someone to talk to, help you through it, I'm here. I have a wonderful mentor that the Brain Tumor Association assigned to me, Kevin. Kevin has been an absolute jewel in my life. And I'm so thankful for him. And I pray that I have been the same support system for him as well. He tells me I am all the time. And so um, thank you guys for tuning in. I do have one more announcement I want to make. Many of you may or may not be aware that March is an incredibly tough month for my family. It is the month that my eldest daughter died suddenly. Um, we had no warning, we had no time to prepare. And so it always has, anytime you lose a child that way, it leaves just such a longing, not only for answers, but a longing for that child, period, And I tell people, I was a teen mom. I had her when I was 16. So we grew up together for a long time. She was my child and my sister and my best friend, And so it's a very hard loss for me still to deal with. And that's why I remain in therapy. And I'm not ashamed of that, very difficult loss for me. Very, very difficult loss. Because like I said, being a teen mom, when you have a child so young, all you want to do is protect that child and love on her or him or whatever gender your child is born. And and you got to go to school, you got to leave the baby daycare or with family or what have you, till they're old enough to go to daycare or start school or what have you. But I went to school. I finished school on time. I graduated on time with my class, because I wanted to be the example for my daughter, So I graduated. I went to night school. I went to summer school so that I could graduate on time and be the best example for my daughter that I could be. And there is not a day that goes by that I don't miss her or long for her. And so, when daughters grow up, they start feeling like a woman. I'm a woman just like you, and none of that matters. No, absolutely, it does not matter. Nothing can obscure your vision of a child, being a child in your eyes forever. They can be 50 years old and that's still going to be your child, just a big child. You're a grown child, but you're still my child. And so that is a loss that's hard. And what I decided, I had been praying about this for a long time. And so this year, I decided to release our grief support group for mothers, fathers, because I do know some fathers that have lost children that still struggle. I decided to start a grief support group and to just share. We'll just meet together once a month and we'll share our stories. We'll share how our coping skills, how do we get through it, and sometimes you don't get through it. You kind of just coast through it sometimes. And that's okay. No one has the right to tell you how to grieve, when not to grieve. Okay, that's enough. You ought to be over that by now, or what have you. That's so not their place. And so I wanted to create a safe atmosphere where we can talk about these things and possibly strengthen one another, to the point to where, we're not so afraid or so ashamed, or so taken aback by saying, I still miss my child. It's been 2 years, it's been a year, it's been 3 years, it's been 10 years, and I still miss my child. I still need answers. I still have days I can't get out of bed. All of that is okay, but we have made it not okay, because what we like to tell people is, oh, God can heal you, but you're talking about a grieving parent, you're talking about a grieving spouse, you're talking about a grieving sister, a grieving brother, a grieving child that lost a parent, all of that. And so this year's is equally hard for me, because not only did my daughter pass in March, and then I spent last Mother's Day in the hospital as my mother was passing. And so as soon as we're out of March, and then we have a little break, and then we go into May, Mother's Day. That's when the time that my mother was passing away, and then her birthday is in June. So this will be her first birthday that she passed right before her birthday. So this will be her second birthday, but it'll only make a year that she has been gone when May comes in. So it hasn't even been a year yet since Mother passed. So I felt like, with so much going on in the world, why not create a safe space and allow all of us to come together and share with one another? And so that's what I've done. What I've done, I've created a grief counseling, not a grief counseling. I don't want to say counseling because I don't want to get in trouble for using that word, but a grief support group, and you have to register for it. Okay. But it's free. It's absolutely free, but you do have to register so that we can have and keep an account of everyone in the group. And so that we can, it's just wise to know who's in the group. Okay. So I'm going to put the information on the screen so you guys can have the information. I'm going to leave it up there for a few. And let's see, where is it? Oh, no, not that one. Sorry. Give me 1 second to find it. Oh, no. Okay, that's not it. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. And after I show you this, I'm going to leave it up for a second. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. I'm going to leave it up so you guys can get the information off of it so you can register. Registration is open now. Again, it's free, but I do need you guys to register if you want to be a part of the grief support group. Please, ma'am, please, sir, please, young people, go to the website and register. That way we can keep an account of who is in the group. You will not be allowed in the group if you don't register. Okay. And that's just to protect everybody that's in the group. All right. So, okay, I found it, guys. So I'm going to put the information up on the screen. Let me turn you guys around so you can see it, Instagram. And after this, I'm going to be done. I'm going to leave this up for just maybe 60 seconds or so. Okay. All right. All right, guys, I hope you had enough time to get your information. If you did not get the information, I am going to post it. Um, I post a flyer with the information on there. On Instagram, I post it for you as well. And everyone on Facebook, I'll post it for you as well. On YouTube, just go back and hit the replay, and you can control, hit pause and play. You can control that on you, since um, you have that advantage if you're watching on YouTube. So you can get the information if you didn't get a chance to get it. But our first session is going to be April the 21st. And so we're going to meet I think it says every third Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Um, every third Thursday of the month, third Thursday of the month, we're going to meet. But you need to make sure you have Zoom. That's not going to be a live meeting. That's not going to be live. That's going to be via Zoom. So make sure you have Zoom. If you're signing up for it, go to the website and sign up for it. Look for Grief Support Group Coaching. It's free. Sign up for it. Registration is open for it now. It's absolutely free. You'll never pay a registration cost, but I do need you to register so we can make sure we know who's in the group, okay? And if need be, we can verify the information that you provide, okay? All right, guys, I thank you guys for tuning in with me tonight. Again, if you have any questions for me, inbox them to me. Thank you guys so much. Instagram, thank you for tuning in. You guys on Facebook, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for participating. It matters. Do me a favor, click like and click share on these videos, because I'm just ready to share. I'm just ready to share. Sometimes we can get so afraid until we just close everything and everybody off. And I had gotten to that point. I just wanted to just be by myself, afraid to let anybody get in close enough to see what was really happening. How do I really deal with these things? But at some point, we all have to face our fears, and we have to not only face them, Instagram, but we also have to overcome them, because you never know how your story or your testimony or your journey may help someone else along the way. Okay. Again, you guys go back and watch the videos, click like and click share, and watch the videos that I posted about the gamma knife radiation surgery that I had to have. I thought that was very interesting, and I thought it was worth sharing with you guys. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm going to see you guys Sunday evening. And on Sunday, I'm going to be talking about, since it is National Women's History Month, I'm going to be talking about history. I'm going to be sharing with you when I made history and how terrifying that moment was for me. And for most people, you probably would have turned it down and was like, you know what? No, I'm not doing that. Those days are over. But I did it. And, God blessed me from that. So I'm going to be sharing a story with you, true story, of how I made history in Huntsville, Alabama. And I'm going to be sharing that story with you on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here. So make sure you set your notifications, and make sure you share the videos. Please share. Share the videos. The good thing about these videos, it shows me who's sharing. So, when you share the video, that lets me know that you want to help me reach the masses. And then also coming up, I'm going to have an opportunity for, if you own a business, I'm going to have an opportunity for you to become a partner, a partner with me, so that you can help support the show Just like anything else you do as a business, it's not free to run a show. I am looking for partners and sponsors. If you have a business, so I'm working on something um, so that you'll get something for something. So we're working on that. I'm thankful that I have people that know every aspect of business, money people, credit people. I'm thankful that God has really enriched my territory with people that don't mind sharing the wisdom and the knowledge and the resources they have to do. And so we're working on that for you guys. So if you have a business and you want to be able to advertise on the show, please let me know. And again, anytime you see me come on, even if you're not interested in the topic, just click share for me. Even if you don't want to click like, click share and help me get the word out. Okay. Those of you that have not, go ahead and join our live talk with Benita Bradley page, group page on Facebook, and also go over to YouTube and look for the live talk with Benita Bradley channel. Hit subscribe and hit the notification bell. Every time I'm live or post a new video, you'll be notified. Okay. If you want to support the show, the information is right there on the screen for you. And again, do whatever your heart leads you to do. If your heart don't lead you to do anything, don't do anything, and just don't run your mouth. How about that? But if your heart does lead you to do something to support this show, then do that. And I would be so ever grateful. All right, guys. All right. And so until next time, which will be Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll see you guys then. All right. Thank you again for tuning in. And you've been watching Live Talk with Benita Bradley. I have been your gracious host, Benita Bradley. All right. Bye-bye.